So the spider tournament, guys, just started, and if you are a new player like me, most probably your spider den team sucks. Let's be honest, spider den is one of the most hardest dungeons in the game when you're starting, and you're gonna require very specific heroes when it comes to farming the dungeon on higher stages. But don't you worry, since I'm a new player and I also need to build my own team, in this video we're gonna go and basically check how should you build your team. What are the good or bad champions that you should or shouldn't build? Because let's be honest, it's pointless for me to give you and show you the best champions for this dungeon. Because if you are a new player, most probably you won't have 99% of the champions. That's why we're gonna check all the mechanics. We're gonna try to understand how the dungeon and the boss works. So then based on this information, you can check which champions you have, which champions will help you, and which champions you should build. So make sure to check the video and stay around till the very end, because we're gonna go deep into the how, who, when, why, etc.
Welcome back.
Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is to understand the mechanics and the skills of the boss. So you then understand which champions you should need and build based on their skill set. So we're gonna go on the boss guide on the very right, and we're gonna check some of her mechanics and skills. The very first thing we need to understand is whenever the boss plays, she will summon 6 little spiders. Whenever any of your champion plays, she will summon 2 little spiders, and whenever she ends her turn, she will summon 4 little spiders. So basically, anything happens, little spiders will appear. Now, there can only be 10 spiders on the field, but every time she plays, she will consume all the little spiders that are remaining, and she will heal 3% of her max HP for every little spider. Now, on paper, it's not that bad. You will just tell me, okay, well, let's block the healing. You can't, because the other passive is that she is immune to heal reduction, and you're unable to block the healing. However, what you can do is to speed down the boss or reduce her turn meter to make sure that she doesn't play a lot, which basically means she doesn't heal a lot, or basically it gives you more time to kill the little spiders, so when she plays there's only 2 or 3 and not 10 of them. So yeah, we're gonna basically try to counter this mechanic by reducing the turn meter, applying a speed down debuff, and the other thing that we will struggle is, well, simply doing damage to the boss. If you're a new player like me, most probably you chose Kale. As you can see, because it's a spider, well, the boss receives less damage from poison. So how do we gonna try and do damage to this specific boss is, there are 3 ways to do it. Number 1, we're gonna try and use HP burn. Number 2, we're gonna try to do damage based on max HP on the boss. And number 3, we're simply gonna try to do some damage by attacking the boss. But again, since she has so much HP, it might not be the best way, but again, it might be the only way. So we're gonna go to the champion box, and how you will basically find the correct champion is by using the filter option. We're gonna go into the filter option, we're gonna include all the vaults. So let's say if you have any champions in the vaults, the search of a specific buff, debuff, etc. will include all of your champions. We're gonna scroll down, and for the very first thing that we're gonna try to find is champions that apply HP burn. Now, particularly AoE HP burn. Why? Because how HP burn works in this game is that every single time an enemy has HP burn in place, he will take 3% of max HP as damage, but also all his allies will also take 3% max HP as damage. That's why we want AoE HP burn, because if you apply HP burn on every single little spider, technically speaking, since they can be 10 of them, well, the boss will take in total 30% of her max HP as damage if every single little spider plays. That's why we want AoE HP burn. Now, as an example, I have Tranda. I was very lucky to get her. It's very hard to get her. She does have a AoE damage skill that applies HP burn to all the enemies. What you don't really want is champions that apply HP burn to a single enemy, because if you apply the HP burn to the boss, well, it won't really do anything, because we're gonna make sure that the boss don't play a lot, which technically means the HP burn on the boss, it's kinda useless. That's why we want to apply the HP burn on the little spiders, that will play and not on the boss, which will try to make sure that she doesn't play. So HP burn as AoE is a great option to do damage. Now single target HP burn is really not recommended. However, what's the next step if you don't have HP burn is to do and choose champions that do damage based on max HP. Now you cannot filter champions in terms of how do they do damage. Now if we go into Dark Elves and we're gonna choose the rare champion who's technically a legendary champion called Heart, and we check her skills, as you can see, every time you're gonna have a damaging skill, so every time one of your heroes champions has a skill that does damage, the game will describe based on what statistic is this skill doing damage. In this case, Cold Heart's S3 will do damage based on the attack, but it will also do damage based on the enemy max HP. And this is basically what we mean by doing damage based on max HP of the boss. Certain skills, certain heroes will have this skill that will basically scale, and the damage will scale based on how much the opponent has HP. Since the boss has a lot of HP, those kind of skills will basically help you to melt through the HP bar of the boss and kill her faster. I don't think, yeah, only her S3 has it. As you can see, her S1 and her S2 does damage only based on attack and not max HP. But then again, you can go through all the heroes, champions you have right now and simply check if maybe any of them has damage based on max HP, which will basically help you again to kill her even faster. Now the third option, as I said, is simply doing damage with normal skills. Because if you are a new player, you might not have a AoE HP burn, you might not have a champion that does damage based on max HP, so you're gonna basically use whatever you have. Me personally, so far I've been using He-Man because he does an incredible amount of damage, but it's not based on max HP, but again, it's fine. You still have to do damage somehow if you don't have the two previous damage dealers. Now, since we're gonna make sure that the boss doesn't play a lot by decreasing the turn meter and applying speed down, well, you're still gonna go and attack the boss and eventually you can kill her, but it's not the fastest way to go around it. But for you as a new player and for me, okay, I have Trinda, so not for me. But again, I have been using He-Man by simply attacking the boss and doing some damage. Now, going back to what I just said, the decreased turn meter. So again, we're gonna include all the heroes in all my vaults. And this time we're gonna go to other effects and we're gonna go to negative effects and we're gonna look for champions that decrease the turn meter. Now, as you can see, one of the champions, and I would say even one of the best champions for the Spider Den right now, will be Skeletor. Yes, the champion that we all get for free. How come? Well, if you start the game right now, after 7 days of playing the game, you will get Skeletor for free. So technically speaking, all of you new players will have Skeletor. And let's have a look at Skeletor. So Skeletor on his S3 will reduce the turn meter of all the champions by 15%. But also on his S2, he will apply a decreased speed debuff of 30% to the boss. Because he only applies this to the boss, which is very important. If you attack a random monster, he will apply petrification. But if the target is a boss, he will place a 50% decrease attack and a 30% decrease speed debuff, which is just amazing when it comes to the Spider Den. Another champion that you might have is Armiger, because you can get an uncommon champion by simply farming the campaign, getting the green shards to summon heroes, and you can summon an uncommon champion, Armiger. And Armiger, not only he's amazing for the Spider Den, he will also help you with the Fire Knight. And me personally, I started building mine because I am 100% sure he will help me to increase and go further in the stages of Spider Den and Fire Knight. But why so? Because on his S1, he has a 100% chance, if you have enough of crit rate and accuracy, to reduce the turn meter by 30% every single time he attacks, which is just great. Like, honestly, that's all we're gonna need. So if you combine Armiger, if you combine Skeletor, and on top of that, you can also throw another champion that we all gonna get for free, which is the Haikatoon. Now, as a reminder, if you play the game for 30 days, the game will give you a free Haikatoon. And Haikatoon is just amazing. You're gonna build her for every single of the dungeons because on her S3, she has a 15% chance of decreasing the turn meter, and you can increase it to 75% if you skill her up. But on her S2, if she's ascended, not only is she gonna speed boost your team, but she will also place a 30% increased speed. So she's gonna make sure that the enemies are controlled and that your allies play faster and more often. So Haikatoon is definitely a champion that I'm looking forward to, because as soon as I get her, I will build her, because I know as a fact that she will really help me out. So yeah, those are the champions, the main champions that I will be building for the Spider Den. Now again, you might have better options or you might have other heroes. As I told you, we also gonna need a level 2 decrease speed debuff. One of the champions that you can also get for free is the Mausoleum Mage. Now, how do you get him for free? It's very easy. You go down into the description of this video, and on the very top, you can find my referral link. By using this link, you can open your own account and download the game, and by doing so and using my referral link, you will get 4 epic champions for free. Mausoleum Mage is one of them, I believe at level... I will put a photo under describing every single level what hero you will get, but once you reach a specific level in game, you will receive 4 amazing epic champions in your mailbox. So make sure to check the link. And if you want, well, start the new journey with me right now. But yeah guys, Mausoleum Mage is one of the best heroes as well. He will not only reduce speed with his S1, but he will also apply block debuff to all of your allies, and since the little spiders will apply a lot of poisons, this might save you up. And if not, well, you can also basically remove all the debuffs, which will heal your champions, and then also increase the turn meter by 15. So again, Mausoleum Mage is also a great hero for the Spider Den. But yeah guys, so that's it when it comes to the heroes and understanding which hero you should build, what effect, what buff or debuff you will need for Spider Den. Now, as an advice and basically what I am doing, as a new player, what I really recommend to do is to farm stage 10. Stage 10 has the highest percentage when it comes to looting 5-star amulets, rings and banners. So even if you can do 11, 12, 13 or 14, basically the best stage to farm as a new player or as a free-to-play player is stage 10, and then eventually you want to switch, I think it's 15 or 16, but ideally you want to farm stage 20. But like I said, as a new player, stage 9 no, 11, 12 not necessary. Stage 10 is the best stage to farm if you are a new player, and this is the stage I gonna personally farm in order to finish the tournament that's ongoing right now. Because as a reminder, it's crucial that you do your events right now if you want to get your Lady Noelle, because we need those red cloak Tanaokas. So let's go into the spider tournament. So yeah, you need at least 2250 points to get the rare champion, to fuse it into the epic that will then be fused into Lady Noelle. But yeah guys, that's it from my end. I hope with this video you have a better understanding on how to build your team, which champions you should build or not, and hopefully you will start and you will be able to farm higher stages in the Spider Den. I will now go and put some gear on my champion so I can start farming it as well. But as a last reminder guys, I did a video about a massive giveaway. So once the channel reaches 10k subscriber, I will basically pick 3 winners that can win amazing rewards such as shards, void shards, sacred shards, etc, etc. But I did a video about it, so make sure to check it out if you want to participate and have a chance of winning amazing rewards. But yeah guys, it was your boy Troll. I hope it helped you. I hope this video helped you out. And yeah, I will see you in the next video guys. Cheers.